All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Homeschool episode 28. We're very excited to have James Hancock with us. Say hi, James.
What's going on, Cory, Andrew, James Hancock the third. Thank you. Appreciate
Sorry,
it.
James Hancock the third. All right. Where's your dad and your granddad? This is a podcast where we do about 10 minutes of jokes about what's going on in the world, then talk about our lives and comedy and current events. So just current events and comedy because we don't have any social lives. I haven't been doing much shows. Andrew did some private shows, which are interesting. And James, you got anything coming up?
I do. I'm headlining the Grand Hotel in Escondido on February 12th. Little rooftop Valentine's Day, little intimate setting. Go to grandhotel.com in Escondido and check us out, man. Come through with your loved one or your side chick, whoever. I'm not.
You're not gonna call nobody out.
It is.
That's great. Wow, that sounds like a really good gig. Good for you, man. Andrew, anything for you coming up?
Bricktown Comedy Club, February 11th through 14th. Tacoma Comedy Club, February 18th through 21st. Still working on Louisville and Denver, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, still we're negotiating. Our teams are deciding what the fair pay is, and I'm like,
by team, you mean?
Yeah.
Their owner, because
I'm like, I'll forward you to my agent, andrewsagent@gmail.com, which is my other email address, and then
that's levels.
See what happens.
That's levels there, man.
You gotta fake it till you make it, you know?
It's like back when Laughs had that fake email. I don't know if I tell the story where Laughs had that Dana person, and the very first time I ever went to Laughs, I was like, hey, I'm looking for Dana, and they were like, who? It was the fake name for the email, and nobody knew who I was talking about. It's great.
Adam tried that for 2 years, probably. Yeah,
he did. Yeah, I can't remember the name he used. I'm at Stir Crazy Comedy Club in Glendale, Arizona, leading the world in COVID cases. February 5th and 6th of this week. So that'd be great if you came out. I'll be very, very safe and stay outdoors except for my set. And then headlining Looney Bin in Tulsa, Oklahoma, February 24th through 27th. Very excited about that. That'll be an opportunity. Well, I'm gonna film some stuff at Stir Crazy. I'm gonna do 100% nothing that's been on Dry Bar or my album. So I'm excited about that. And
maybe give me a run for that 100K. All right.
I don't know. You got your 100,000. That's very exciting. Andrew got 100,000. We should celebrate. Cheers. 100,000 on his comedy special.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Michelob Ultra. And Andrew's got water.
Little protein shake.
No, I'm not plugging in.
We actually have audience because it's he's pouring me a drink. This is great. We'll talk about it later. Hey, 3-second pause because we don't like to edit.
All right. Hey, welcome to Homeschool episode 28. I'm Andrew Rivers along with Cory Michaelis. Say hi, Cory.
Hey, Cory.
Hey, every week we try to come up with a fresh slate of jokes, and every week I wonder if this is the week where we run out of jokes. And then Jewish Space Laser starts trending on Twitter, and this page magically fills itself. It is a miracle. But hey, besides the space lasers, Cory, what else is going on?
I don't know. I prefer my space lasers to be Muslim, but
okay.
Let's see. Well, light
jokes.
Not yet.
I'm making sure. I just wanted to know when. Give me a face. Give me a face when I start.
I'll give you. We have a laugh track maybe on here somewhere I can find, but.
Well, Andrew, light snowflakes were expected in Seattle and Portland this week.
Oh, snow! Shoot, I gotta get my snow tires put on.
Oh no, not the weather kind of snowflakes. There were just more protests scheduled.
Oh, well, the police officers who run over people on the street are going to have their snow tires put on.
Those studded tires.
Hey, they get the studs from the earrings of the people they drive over, so it's fine.
I don't just talk like this all the time. These are jokes.
I know.
I talk like this all the time.
Hey, what's going on with you this week? What are you doing? What's going on? What's
I did a lot of private shows for Tacoma Comedy Club. Basically, you can pay $200 and you get a private show in an empty comedy club for you and 6 friends.
Oh my God, that sounds like an
sounds
awful
amazing.
experience for everyone involved. Who would pay for that?
Usually it's just
Very
drunk
lonely.
people. Yeah, very lonely
people.
people. they have little sense of humor. It's really hard to kick out hecklers when they're the entire audience.
Yeah, you're basically being paid just to get heckled. There's nothing else.
Dude, there was this guy in a wheelchair and you could tell he thought he was the funny guy in the group. So he just every joke he was like trying to add something or tag it. I had to be like, dude, shut the fuck up, you know.
Ain't that how
I
you
kept
start?
making fun of him. I was like, he was walking before he got the vaccine, you know.
You start as a heckler at a show, and you was like, "Yo, I could do that shit," and then you did the shit. Isn't that how you? I thought that's how you started. That's pretty lit.
Well, you
Not
can
me.
you can't walk him with your jokes because
Yeah. Well, I told him if he got mad, I would just walk upstairs, and what was he gonna do about it? He was a good sport. He bought me a shot afterwards, but
well, that's
You
fun.
just stop talking.
Was
yeah.
it a vaccine shot or?
Yeah, I was hoping. He told me his dick still worked. That he made sure to announce that to everybody.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
vital information.
Well, they're also the requirement is they got to be like in the same household, so it's kind of hard to like.
Kick one
If
person
you kick
out.
one out, they're just like, he's actually all right. So
Yeah.
we got to go too.
Yeah. Luckily, 5 people in the audience doesn't really phase me. I started a Giggles comedy club, so 5 people was a good show.
Hey man, we've actually used that before on this podcast, right?
Yeah, I'm all about recycling, man. We got to save the planet, Green New Deal, recycle bottles and jokes, plus AOC's super hot.
That's true. But if we're gonna reduce waste, we could just start by taking out all the jokes you write. That's I think.
That's a really good idea.
Genius.
James is nodding.
Not a fan so far.
But hey,
No,
sure, let's talk about the rich history of Giggles. I don't know where you started, James, but Giggles is where we both started. Giggles was the best comedy club in Seattle in the 90s when I was in high school, college, and then went out of business because they kept letting Andrew on stage. Then the owner tried to turn it into a strip club, and it closed down because they tried to put Andrew on stage.
Hey, that part's not true.
Did they keep it in Giggles even though there was strippers?
They called it Giggles.
Yeah, it was Jiggles.
Ah, genius. They could still
They just-
spell the same too.
They didn't even
took
change the sign.
light bulbs out. The truth is, it was just like too close to a school. That's why it got shut down. Andrew and strip clubs actually have a lot in common. Neither are allowed by a school, right? That's getting all that right?
That's also not true. But
Oh.
I don't know the exact story, but like this guy Bob Davis owned it, and he was in the business of attempting to open strip clubs. Like he found some zoning loophole, and then he opened strip clubs where nobody wanted them, and then he would sue the city of Seattle when they made him close it down.
Ah, interesting.
Wow.
I've never thought of failing at something over and over could turn you into a millionaire, right? But I guess I'll just another reason to stick this comedy career out a little longer.
That's stand-up. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's literally.
Yo, and I thought the longer your career gets, the further you have to stay away from a school.
That's why I quit.
Well, Giggles turned into Jiggles for 6 months, and then they turned it back into a comedy club, but they left the pole on stage for 6 months. So there was a lot of 6-person crowds, and some of them were hoping to see naked girls and instead got me.
Ugh.
Get naked?
Well,
no.
Speaking of strippers, I've been doing some virtual interviews for season 2 of my other podcast, Stripper Whisper. It's a lot easier. Have you listened to that, James? No? All right.
Of course I've listened to a few.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot easier to get the virtual interviews, like when I request them, because, hey, want to come back to my hotel room for a podcast is like kind of a hard sell to a stripper. Yeah, sure, buddy. How much do you pay for your podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this your first time? There's no sex in the champagne room, and there's no money in the podcast room.
There's no money in the podcast.
Also, they're better at this because every stripper has been doing OnlyFans for like 12 months, so they're like experts at performing on cam. I just have to keep them from trying to show their butthole.
Yeah,
yeah, but your views will go up.
that's for sure. I mean, if you just put her butthole where your face should be, people will flock to the podcast. Hey, speaking of showing your butthole, China is sending us more accurate coronavirus tests. The only drawback is that they are anal swab tests. So I told you if we elected Beijing Biden that China would try to fuck us.
Asian, never heard of. Is you part Asian?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I didn't even know.
That's why his face is so pulled back. It's not from years of surgery and
he's just Asian.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's
anal swab. You said drawback though. I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Taking any videos of my test and put it on social media, and I don't need those up. And but I already have those videos on my OnlyFans, so check it out. OnlyFans.com/Cory Michaelis Comedy. James, you should start one of those.
Start one? Oh man, I don't have the. That's a lot of work. It took me enough just to get the light. I was like, yo.
Yeah, and you barely set it up. You're like, let's put it over there. Barely lights my face up. Who cares?
Yeah, when I saw I had to get it, I even took a deep breath too. I was like, it's all the way in that corner of the room.
Look, don't go out of your way. We can find another guest if you're too good for this podcast. I get it.
No, I just can't start my own thing. Like just Cory emailing me. I was like, man, that took a lot from the email me. I would have been like, do we need a guest? I don't know. We'll just talk.
We can just boot him out of here and we can just keep it going. I'll laugh at the other jokes. It's fine. It's all good. Hey, more good news. Seattle has approved a $4 an hour pay raise for grocery store workers for the rest of the pandemic. That's great. They deserve it totally. I mean, every time they restock the toilet paper, it looks like Black Friday at Best Buy.
Right.
Yeah, they deserve money, man. They've been working hard.
Beijing Biden, that we're calling him now. I like it. We're a week into his presidency, and so far, no late night TV shows have cried on. He must be doing a good job. But in a follow up from last week's show, Joe Biden has not uninstalled Trump's Diet Coke button.
Damn it, Joe, you're asleep at the wheel. No stimulus bill, but hey, ladies, I've got a stimulus package right here. It's not worth $2,000, but it'll get you through the winter.
Did you say win? Did you say winner? Sounds like a
winner.
Loser.
Yeah, winter. Sounds like a lose-lose situation.
It'll get you through the wiener.
Wiener.
When's all this socialism I voted for gonna kick in? By the way, I thought that was gonna come like week 2. At least he hasn't taken our guns yet, right, guys?
Yeah.
Guns yet? I need one.
Oh. Cory, you have a gun?
I'll wait till I'm like 65 and get my first gun.
Don't tell anybody. I have. You get it at the same time you get the vaccine.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure.
Hey, there are now.
Call back to Andrew's joke. That was
sure. It's fine. No one remembers anything I say. But there are now dogs in the White House for the first time in 4 years. Trump obviously had no pets except for a pussy hound and and a turtle, but that's about it.
McConnell. 15 people got infected. I read this. Got infected with coronavirus after attending a birthday party for a cat. That's got to be a terrible party, right? Like, hey, let's put this hat on him. Oh, he just cuts my wrists. Yeah, he doesn't want any cake.
Yeah, what a bad party for a pussy. But back in my day, they called those passion parties.
Oh wow.
Oh God.
Back in Andrew's day when he was a kid.
Back in my day.
Back in Nam.
Do they give you those little baggies with the blower?
The dildos.
If I got an invitation to that in the mail, like I'd be like, yeah, I can't go right now. Like, oh, we understand coronavirus is scary. Stay at home if you're uncomfortable. No, I don't care about that. I've performed at packed comedy clubs. I would just rather have a breathing tube installed than go to your cat's birthday party.
Yeah, that sounds way better. Cats are the worst.
Do cats get 9 birthday parties every year?
If they do, dogs should get 7, right? Is that how it
That's
works?
not really how that works.
What?
Okay.
Corey's logic. Hey, speaking of crazy cat ladies, time for our bachelor update. Brr, we should get like a
Yay,
sound
that's
for
what I'm
that.
talking about. That's what I
Hey.
came.
Our
Now
friend
James is
Katie
interested.
Thurston, Thirsty Katie, is on The Bachelor. Well, she's not on him yet. They haven't made it to the fantasy suite. But Corey, you're an episode behind. You better catch up.
Ooh.
I think ABC is going to kick her off real soon because there's a bunch
No,
of girls trying to call a girl a hooker, and Katie was trying to be mature and solve the problems, and that doesn't make for great television.
No, Katie is like a real shining star right now, man. Like a lot of
That's
people.
what I think, but
A lot of people on Instagram are like rooting for Katie and the new girl Rachel that just came in and went on the one-on-one and the hot air balloon. Like they're like, yo, these two
Yeah.
girls. Really... Oh shit, my bad, Corey.
No, I
yeah,
know
but it's
about
not.
that, but I don't think. But ABC's, like they are the ones that like they think it's bad for the audience. Doesn't matter what Twitter says, like
Yeah.
ABC's like, you got to knock it off. We literally start these fights on purpose.
Mhm.
You're gonna come in here like an adult. Who do you think you are? Get off our
You're
show.
being mature, sensible woman. What are you
Fuck
doing?
that shit. That doesn't make for good television.
Nah,
We
but
want bitches clawing at each other and calling each other hookers.
It was so funny because she's like, I think I need to go tell him, and that never is good because they're always telling for their own purposes. And
Yeah.
she was like, I need to protect these other people, and you're like, oh my god, you're just the best. Andrew should date you.
But it was a good deed she did though, man.
Hey, well, Seattle, I don't know about it's like in San Diego, but we got to praise for approved for phase 2 again, which means comedy is allowed at 25% capacity or about one of my sellout crowds.
Ooh, big flex, big flex. Big
Hey,
flex.
James, you keep working someday, you can fill 25% of a comedy club. All right. Dreams do come true.
One time I
but
filled 25% of a pub. That shit was lit.
mm,
The other 75% was just people that were already there.
Yeah, they didn't even know I was talking. It was like halfway.
they didn't know a comedy show was going on. Yeah. Who let this guy get a microphone? Teachers over 50 can get vaccinated. Finally, a club Corey can sneak into without his ID.
Yes. Hey, look.
I'm bald, I swear. The backstory on that is one time in Phoenix, Corey lost his ID and was trying to get into a bunch of bars, and they were like, sorry, you don't have your ID. He's like, I mean, I'm obviously 21.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Corey has a lot of dad energy. Like,
yeah, but they called the cops and made sure he wouldn't cause any trouble.
Yeah, it was another instance where me and Andrew, well, me mostly, but we just were like, oh, the cops, that'll be fun.
yeah. Oh, we're white. No one's gonna shoot us or anything.
Ooh,
yeah, call the cops. Let's have a good time.
Oh man, I've read that they're saying 2 masks is a thing now. I don't know. That's where I draw the line. I'm not putting 2 of anything on unless it's a condom, right? Now, actually, I don't get why people are complaining about 2 masks. Like, who cares? Like, I don't care if 2 pairs of socks might keep me from getting frostbite. I refuse to bend over 2 extra times a day. I'm not wearing 2 pairs of socks. I'm not doing 2 masks.
Oh,
you all right? You got COVID, buddy?
Oh, Corey, what the fuck?
I thought you were gonna throw up, and I laughed.
Jim's over there hacking up a lung.
Bro, I coughed. I looked at Corey, was like, are you okay?
Man, what a crazy week. A deranged lunatic on the internet got people riled up this week and took Wall Street by storm.
Ah, shit. Is Trump back on Twitter?
Oh,
no, it's Wall Street Bets.
Who would have thought an app called Robinhood would lead to bad things for rich people?
Yeah, I can't believe this app called Cut Rich People's Heads Off has backfired on rich people. It seems crazy.
It's absurd.
So weird.
The story overall is just that people are buying stocks for companies that do not have a bright future, GameStop, AMC theaters, and making these companies actually worth lots of money, and make the professional stock traders and hedge fund managers lose money for betting on them to fail, which is great.
Wow. Yeah, people are investing in companies that are doomed to fail. Well, I would like to introduce you to Andrew Rivers Comedy LLC. Please Venmo me. My parents are tired of investing and would like their money back. Let's go to the moon.
I've been betting on him to fail for years, and it's I don't know.
That's dope that your parents pay for your comedy and shit. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it's good.
That's a
Take
blessing.
Andrew Rivers to the moon. That's I mean, usually people are taking it to Uranus.
Oh,
All right.
That doesn't
okay.
exist anymore.
What was that one?
Uranus doesn't exist, right? Didn't they take it away? Didn't
Pluto wasn't a planet, and then it was again, and then it wasn't again. I can't keep track.
It's like getting like voted out of the solar system. They're like, yo, Uranus,
Ah.
son.
Yeah,
My
Uranus is still large and in charge.
Uranus doesn't exist
dark
if you're a
people.
girl I'm sleeping with. I don't know how
Yeah.
this whole thing ends with the. It's just like a,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, but I'm just glad that for all this stock shit, Donald Trump isn't president, right? Like, I don't know what he would do, but I'm sure it would be the wrong thing. Like,
yeah. I can't imagine like two lunatics on Twitter going at each other, you know, like buy, sell, hold the line, trial by combat. Like, I think he wants us to burn down the Capitol again. I'm not sure.
stand down.
Stand down, stand by. Hey, we got a great show. Our guest today got second place in the Seattle International Comedy Competition, and I got fourth. So we no longer have a guest on today's podcast.
I got fifth, right? I wasn't in your guys' year, but I had to go up against a Canadian with the last name Bottom. So I mean, come on, I didn't really have a shot. Let's be honest.
Hey, make some noise for James Hancock the third.
What up?
When you spun on your chair, it was fun because it got quieter and then came back louder. It was great.
I did that on purpose.
So you're watching The Bachelor?
Oh heck yeah, yeah, I'm a big fan, man. I've been watching Bachelor for a little while. Started all the way back when I was a kid watching Flavor of Love, back when Flavor Flav was the prize. That was when reality TV was at its peak back then.
How about that?
What was the lady that got the spin-off show?
New York.
Yeah, I Love New York or whatever.
Yeah,
She was a handful.
And then she was also on For the Love of Money, where they brought all the Flavor Love girls, New York dudes, and all them into a house together. Yeah, no, reality TV was lit back then.
Who do you think's gonna win this thing? What do you think the right strategy? Do you think like I think Katie's doing the right thing, but I don't know if that's gonna win.
No, I don't think Katie will win because I feel like she's like too strong for like the whole house dynamic for her to like stay and whatnot. But I do feel that she will be a very strong candidate to get her own Bachelorette season right now. I feel like she stands out the most because they always try to pick one of the girls to potentially get into the pool of girls that could be the Bachelorette or whatever. I think she's probably the strongest candidate for it.
She's blowing up, like her Insta and everything. She's got like a bazillion followers now, so I'm sure ABC wants to keep her around for some other stuff.
She's the kind of woman that like the strong, like sophisticated women, when they watch it, like finally a girl that's like me, not
right representation instead of these bimbos going, oh my god, it's love in the first date and fight this. Like, what do you think of this Victoria lady? She's obviously some kind of like actress or whatever, but
yeah, she's a plant from the producers. She's doing her job well. I've already seen like commercials of her being on like Good Morning America or something.
Oh yeah,
like, dishing the tea or whatever. She doing what she made an impression on the producers from the jump, and they just running with her. Even Matt is like, I gotta keep her again. They're like,
yeah. You can see in like their one-on-ones, he like doesn't kiss her. He like barely is like giving her that hug from far away, and he's like,
she's like, can I get a kiss? And he's like, I mean, I guess, fuck.
Whatever. That's what girls usually say to me. You know? Fucking, I guess if the producer really wants it, I don't know.
He like looks to the side. He's like, all right, yeah.
Jesus. Hey, who do you have a top? Do you have like a top 3 or?
Yeah, I go to actually win. My top 3 would be Rachel, the new girl that just came. I forget her name, but the young lady that is hearing impaired is a good one. And then who would be the other? She's a black girl.
Is that Mari or whatever her name is?
I can't remember her name.
He would win my year. If I was the Bachelor, it would be Mari.
Yeah, is she like Puerto Rican maybe or
You're
something?
all
like
out.
that?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I mean Victoria's the worst, but I feel like it's so much, but the one blonde gal is like from Chicago who she's the worst. Because
I liked her in the first
being
episode or whatever,
herself.
and then and she was she's also got a little bit of not to like make fun of anybody's looks because I look like this, but she's got a little bit of this like, guys.
She's great. That gal's great. Yeah.
Girl, that would be my third one. I'm sorry I couldn't find her.
Nah, it's
the name, throw it out. But yeah, she's got kind of a like.
She's got a like her. I can't believe that girl's a hooker, and it's like, will you fucking close your face like a little bit?
Yeah,
close your face. She has an open face.
Real toxic together. Yeah. She's been entertaining men for money. I'm like, oh, she's been entertaining men for money.
Also, like, who isn't at you're on this show for money? Like, what? You're a time hooker. You're trying to get fucking followers or whatever.
Time hooker.
I don't know if that makes sense, but you're like putting no one on this show is looking for I called it Survivor if they let people shave. Like that was my joke, but they're not there for love, right?
Well, it's all.
So you are selling your soul.
I think a good percentage of them is there looking for love, and if you know what I'm saying, if they make that connection. But they know you're gonna know like who's going to like be the ones like towards the end because the ones that have another screen time now, the ones that we see all the time because they already know who won. So when they edit it in a way to where you grow a connection. So if they're on the screen a lot, you're like, all right, they probably gonna stay. And then the ones where you forget about what their name is, you don't have a connection to them. So it's pretty easy to.
Yeah, I think the thing of like, there's so many issues that I have. This is just a Bachelor podcast now, but there's so many issues I have with the whole thing in general. But that's why I love that Katie's like flipping the script a little bit.
Yeah.
There's literally, from what I've watched, never been someone as much like, hey, I'm gonna wait a little bit to see if I love this guy, and also that's a terrible thing. Can you not do that? And just out of the goodness of her like being a good person. So it's I love it, but there's so many like things. It's such a good social experiment to watch. Like people just go, it's not fair, and you're like, well, fairness isn't play a role in trying to meet somebody. They brought these new women in, and it's not fair, and I hate them. Well, they didn't go like, hey, will you bring us in late? And
Andrew, I'm curious to know because you knew Katie before. What was you guys were just like homies that grew up together? I know
no, we like tried to date a couple times. Like we had like a Tinder date like 5 years ago, 6 years ago or something.
How'd that go?
Then it was all right. We got drunk. She came over. We were about to hook up, but then she got a nosebleed and was like bleeding all over my face. And so we kind of stopped things, and she was a little too drunk. I've always been like a little alcohol conscious because I'm not a big drinker. So like when girls get a little sloppy, I go like, let's just wait till you don't regret this,
Got a nosebleed was in the official police report. So
yeah, I punched her in the face. I was like, bitch. No, and then over the summer we kind of reconnected. We'd always chatted a little bit, like. But it was always like she was always with there was a funny story like where she would hit me up and go like, hey, I'm single now. And I'd be like, I'm in Atlanta for 2 weeks. Just I'll be back and we can hook up or whatever. And then by the time I get back, she's like getting back with her ex or she's dating somebody new or whatever. And then but she moved like 10 minutes. She moved like 5 or 10 minutes up the street from me this summer. And so she was hitting me up and also like the pandemic, I have this joke where I hit her up and I was like, hey, it's the end of the world. What have I got to lose, And so we hung out a couple times. She was considering getting into comedy. She like came to an open mic to check it out. But she was always doing like, I kind of called her out on it because she came over to my house. We drove to like open mic and we just hung out as friends and checked it out. And then we got back to my place and I was like, you want to hang out? And she's like, nah, I'm going to go home. I was like, cool. Have a good night. And then she got home and she filmed like a little Instagram story of her kissing her cat. And it was like, only cat kisses for me tonight. And I was like, oh, that's for another guy to see, to let him know that you're not kissing me or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
And so that's why I made the joke of like, oh, she's such a manipulative dater. She's going to be great on The Bachelor, you know, but
You said that.
yeah, but she's cool. She's great. It's just like a matter of like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. You're
I just, she's yeah, absolutely.
No,
Please, Katie, take me back. Oh.
Maybe we should do this at the top. I just realized, whatever, it doesn't matter. James and I were in an amazing, he's like, what is he about to say? Comedy festival together, Big Pine Comedy Fest.
Big Pine.
Man, I'm curious about this because so it was a really good comedy festival, good weather, played some hoops, good shows.
Andrew wasn't there. All positives. All
Andrew
positives.
wasn't there. And good partying a little bit. After party was fun.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Let me ask you this: though, you made a good impression on a number of people, but you made a good impression on Rick. Did you ever reconnect with him?
Not at all. Didn't answer a single email or message. But he loves Andrew to death.
They don't really respond to my emails anymore either.
You just headlined that club like a week ago.
What club did I do? Oh, Minneapolis. I did Minneapolis. That's true. Tammy's the one to get in touch with. But again, they're like my management team, and they're like, I mean, I put out this special. I sent it out to them, and like no response. And now I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I do like, you know, I don't need to complain about my life, but go ahead.
No, but yeah, I made an impression on him at the one show, and then who was it? James Spencer. It was cool because we was at the bar, and James Spencer, real good comment. He was like, so Rick, you liked him, right? He was like, yeah, I thought he was great. He was like, so you gonna keep bullshitting with him, or you gonna book him for something? And he was like, oh, yeah, let me get your information. And I was like, yo, that was some dope shit.
Spencer is he doesn't fucking Spencer. It's Spencer James, not that it matters.
Spencer James, yeah.
He brought two women to that they flew out to that. Two women flew out to that festival, and he was dating both of them.
Motherfuckers with Mac, man. That was just all my first impressions of Spencer was just like, this motherfucker is for real, man. He came out, he was funny. I saw him perform. I was like, yo, he's dope on stage. We saw him at the bar. He was like, oh, this, I don't know, that Katie and Julie. And I was like, hey, these are my girlfriends. I was like, oh shit. And then he was like, the dude that owned the club, he was like, you gonna bullshit with it? I was like, yo, this motherfucker's amazing.
Love this guy. We're gonna have him on the podcast for sure. But so they were both, you know, cute or whatever, but they would do, it was like a throuple, is that what you call it? And they, I don't know, are we supposed to say this? Doesn't matter, he doesn't listen. And he's a great guy, and they were both cute. One was very attractive, and then she was kind of like, I saw her be kind of flirty, and I was like, is this like, not with me, she wasn't flirty with me, but I was like, I'm not speaking to either one of these women. This seems like a huge problem. It's already tenuous, right? If you're trying to maintain two girlfriends, it seems crazy. You don't need your.
This guy was the Bachelor in the off season.
off season Bachelor.
Listen, he like 6'3", 6'4". He a big ass dude too.
Yeah, he probably slanging that dick. Anyway,
no, both of them really Big Pine was really dope. So we did Slow Festival together too. That was the first time I met you. Was up in
San Luis Obispo. You got Best in Show, or what do they call it?
Best of the fest or whatever.
Best in Shows.
Can't be that good of a festival.
It was a good festival, man. It was dope. And I never forget, Cory, it was my first time performing in front of any number other than like 200 or something. And that Best of the Fest show was like a theater of like 1,200. and like it was like filling up, and I was like, Cory was next. I was like, Cory, this is a lot of people. He was like, yeah, you never done a theater before? I was like, hell no, I've done like a club that had like 200 in New York, and like barely two. I don't even know if it was completely 200. And he was just like, you're gonna love it. And then he gave me a hug, and then he walked away. Like Mr. Miyagi me before the show. He was
It's
like,
like the dad you never had, you know?
yeah, he was like, yo, you're gonna love it. Then he hugged me and then just walked off. And I ain't see him again until after. And he was like, you loved it. I was like, yo, that shit was dope. It was a good moment. It was dope.
That was there's a good photos. There must have been good video too. That was a really great show. So
Hot sets in the Seattle theater shows.
So Slow Fest was first, then Big Pine, then you were in.
And then I was in Seattle.
And you were in the Seattle International Comedy Competition.
He's crashed in my on my couch for about 2 weeks.
I did. It was an awesome 2 weeks, man. Andrew took me in like I was his black brother he never had, man. It was dope. Took me to his
he
home.
pays for one every
every month in Africa. I send him $30 and he writes me letters and shit. I did that for a little bit, but
that's fun. What did you guys think of so Seattle? They, it's really intense in terms of it's like long and they do a really good job of trying at least to be like, hey, it's fair or whatever, but it's still kind of a weird thing, like comedy competitions. Did you guys? I mean,
I loved it.
Are you done? Are you done with them forever? I mean,
hell no. I want to do San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I think it's I think it's great. I mean, it's like if you're trying to narrow down for me, it was like I'm every show going like, oh, what can I change and improve? How do I make this better? Because a competition is different than like a headline set or, it's like you're building a race car and you need like this one to go super fast and this one to go super long or whatever. And so, I had a great time until we got to the finals. And then it's like, no one's happy with the results and even like some shows I had like friends come that I would be like, hey, don't lie to me. And they would be like, you did way better than anyone else. I don't know. Why'd you get 4th place? And I go, all right, that's what it is. And
yeah.
So I think you get to the round. I think Seattle's great for testing where you're at comedically. And I think you get to the round you deserve, but maybe not the place you deserve. That's my feeling on it. Like, I don't think anyone was in the finals that shouldn't have been necessarily.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily agree with the order of it. Yeah.
So you think you should have won is basically what you're telling us.
I think you had amazing. I also just thought the woman that won was a little, hacky or whatever, Yeah,
it was a different situation with her because she's like, every demographic was just her. It's predominantly old white people. And then like, she just had all those, she had a bunch of old white lady jokes, and then she could sing. She was singing stuff. She's done cruise.
I thought she did a thing. She kept being like, vote for me. I'll be the first woman to win the thing. And it's like, all right, can you like stop trying to pander? But maybe also I should have pandered. Who knows?
Yeah, it is all, I didn't pander enough to be the only black person in the finals. Or, so you could look at it anyway, what I'm saying?
Right.
It was,
on stage, she was saying that, and behind the scenes, she was like, don't vote for James.
Yeah, I don't need to get into any of that stuff.
Just joking.
We had our emotional, they squashed it. You guys squashed your beef, right?
There was a thing. I was just joking.
I don't know how many exclusives you want on your podcast, and obviously I wouldn't say her name or anything.
No, we're good.
Yeah, it was.
So
whoever judged, like it's always like the local newspaper editor,
right.
The #1 judge, and then we also have the lady that baked the cookies this evening. Shouts out to her. She's judge #2. Like that
was a constant theme where Peter Gray, who runs it, was sort of complaining about John Fox, who sort of books it or whatever, and so he would be like, we have 5 judges every night, no matter what. And then he'd be like, we only got 3 because the other guy messed up. And it's like, well, what are you doing? Like, what, like, and then it's like, the judges, because you're like, oh, he's an open micer and he is the manager of this club for the last 6 months and he'll get fired soon. And
one round, it was one of the comics that we had eliminated the week before.
Oh, really?
And what? And I was like, that's different.
Hey, I'll give you. So that's the only issue with this. I mean, if that wasn't true, all the things you just said, which it is, then it would be almost the perfect comedy competition.
I think so. Yeah.
Because of a lot of other reasons. But John Fox used to, okay, so he used to let Ron Reed produce, not let, Ron Reed produced it for years and years and years. Ron Reed decided to retire, move to Arizona, be done with it. He won't pay Peter Gray, who would love to just be in charge and would
Take
do a
over.
great job because he cares so much. You know, I mean, he just would care so much about it. So he won't let him. So he tries to produce it himself. But I run one of the venues that's one of the nights, right? So I can tell you that days in advance, it's like, hey, did you get judges? I'm like, no, I did not. Would you like me to get judges? Yeah. And then now I have to find
someone's
as
got
many
to judge
people as I can. And it's
3 days
like
to go. Yeah.
the guy who does, and he's awesome. The guy, I mean, I do my best, but it's the guy who does my graphics for the show, and he's host.
I mean, they even let you judge one night, which is like, what does this guy know about comedy?
What do I
you
know? Clearly, I got fifth in this second fucking thing. And then, but he used to have Lizzie Pilcher. Lizzie Pilcher was was she involved in charge of? Yeah, I think she was in charge of judges. And then he was like, I'm going to cut corners there. And so he used to have a person who would get judges every night. But he just now is like, interesting. Ron Reed, when I stopped having to pay him, I made way more money.
Yeah.
When I stopped having to pay Lizzie, now I just make the person who runs the venue get the judge, which honestly is like, that's kind of a weird ass. Like, I mean, whatever. If we agree to it, I guess. But yeah.
Every competition, it's always gonna have something. Andrew's picture was on the wall the very first night, and I was like, I complained. I was like, I saw his picture on the wall, then I went and sat down, and I was like, I told a few of the other comments, I was like, y'all know that dude that's in the green room right now? His picture's on the wall. They're like, no way. I'm like, it's him and then Chris Rock. He's on the wall, and I had to compete against him. And that was the first thing I ever said to Andrew. Like, I went up to him.
Just pretended like you were Chris Rock.
Yeah. Dude, James got so mad at me. He was like, you were already famous. What are you doing here? You don't need this. I need this. You have a special with millions of views. You're like blowing it up on the internet. I was like, oh, Facebook faked all the views. It doesn't matter. No one cares about me.
The very first night of the competition, I just walked up to him. He was like, hey, how you doing? I'm Andrew. I was like, what's up, man? Yeah, whatever. Enough of that. Your picture on the wall. I was like, why are you in the contest when your picture? He was like, oh, they'll put anyone's picture on the wall, man. It's don't worry about it. And I was like, all right.
Dude, I could show you a lot of pictures on that wall that do not deserve to be up there, but
also Cory has a picture of you in his wallet. What's that all about?
You got my picture in your wallet?
No, Andrew's. I was joking. I was like, and he's a judge tonight. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Yeah, they got Cory judging, and he's got a photo of me in his wallet.
That was it.
Is the joke because we're lovers and friends and
But
yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good to compete. I think it sharpens you, and then you go like, I mean, at least for me, I was like, oh, what if I just did my normals? What if I just did a set like it was a comedy competition set? Try to make 45 minutes that fucking tight, and that's a continual process. So
yeah, it's very strategic. It's very strategic. Every night, you see what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah, and they do a good job of like doing city shows and then shows in the middle of nowhere. So like,
you really got to build it. You may be saying the same stuff, but it's a different strategic standpoint every night, depending on where you are. So it's really,
I realized like my fake service dog closer, I used to like, Adam, he was even making fun of me because I do like the dog cuts your wrist or whatever, or the cat cuts your wrist or something like that. And Adam was like, wow, you're closing on a suicide joke. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. But then when I got to the finals, the first nights in that private club, they all have fucking service dogs, and that joke just ate shit. And then I was like, oh, I'm fucked. And then,
yeah, it's really strategic. You legitimately never know what's gonna happen that night. That's why it's a really good test of how funny you are. Because like for me and Andrew to make it to the finals, like you can be funny with you got one Friday night show throughout the month. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You can
That's it too.
But here you got to be consistently funny for 4 days in a row, and then another 4 days in a row, then another 4 days in a row.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody could fuck around and be funny.
Anyone can have a good night, but to do it every single night, no matter what venue you're at, no matter what the audience is like, and you're following heaters too. Like you're following good. Like there's times James is on stage and I'm going like, what the how the fuck am I going to stand out? I'm gonna be like, my parents are weird. They're like, I'm in love and I'm black and I'm gay and you know, all this stuff. So
whoa.
Wow, you really did pander when you were on Capitol Hill.
There's a lot of gay.
Hey, with live comedy, I mean, though both those competition, there's been no competition.
They didn't have a competition last year, I bet. Yeah.
In the last 12 months, but
did you not do Zoom shows, James?
Yeah, did you?
I've done like 3 Zoom shows, but I've done numerous Zoom trivias, which is like my new side hustle, is hosting those trivia games. And I do that. I do those in a way of doing stand-up. Like I do a lot of jokes while I do it, and I also like these are stacked up here because I put the laptop on there, and then I stand in front of the green screen, and so it's like I'm legitimately doing stand-up while I'm hosting the trivia show.
Didn't want to do any of that effort for our show, but I got it.
I didn't want to stand up.
I gotcha. Yeah, it's so hard to.
Fair.
I mean, those bony legs, you can barely support yourself, you know.
Hey man, put front lift, man. You know the vibes.
Like
we played football. I know you got
the most
skills.
fit guy I've ever met. So you
hey, look,
that was
look at that.
Was a fun time.
Andrew right there.
Wally and Andrea, hot ladies.
That's my homie JJ. That's Andrew. That's my homie Wally. That's my boy Casey. Shouts out Seattle's own Casey McLean.
Casey McLean.
What was the dude from Scotland's name? Donovan?
Yeah, Don something.
I think his name was Don. He had a super funny.
Glowacki.
Big Brian Glowacki, the homie. Diabasara. Andrea Jin just came out with an album. Y'all go check out Andrea Jin's album. There was a bunch of dope ass people that was in that company.
That looks like a girl I slept with, but I don't think it is.
Well,
she doesn't do comedy, so.
Okay. Well, neither does that chick, obviously. So, because women aren't funny, all right.
Okay, canceled. Somebody spread that around so we can get popular.
On my episode. And then I hit you with some of this, you know, saying some.
Oh, is that your house?
Leave it. Leave that.
Yeah.
What about, you mentioned a couple like outdoor shows? Are there? I mean, you don't have to out people right now, you know, but there are indoor shows that you're sneaking into, and
yeah, the Grand Hotel that I'm doing February 12th is outdoors. The 27th of February I have an indoor show. That one's in a PB area, I think, Pacific Beach, for those that aren't familiar. So there's a couple places that are starting to sneak inside and do a few things here in the San Diego area, man. And it's but still a lot of outdoor stuff too. It's real easy to do outdoor stuff here because it's always decent weather. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lately, it's been raining a bunch out there, though.
Yeah, it hailed. It hailed on freaking Friday, man. It was. Are
you okay? Are you gonna be okay?
I think I'll be fine. I don't know.
Hey, you know Josh Nelson?
Oh heck yeah, that's the homie.
Okay, good. Yeah, he's great. So I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
he produces some really great shows. And he's sick and tired of this shit. So I imagine I'm not gonna out the guy, but I assume he's working on something indoor. That'd be my guess.
Something.
Do you have you had COVID? Do you sneeze on people? Are you scared of it? I
do not have
a high risk group.
Black people, yes. I think
homeless people.
I legitimately feel that I had COVID after Seattle competition, and then I went back to Seattle to headline the Underground. I was so sick in Seattle. Like I was miserable from Saturday night on. It was just the worst.
That's just Seattle and working at the Underground.
That's just because you had bad shows, and now you know how the audience feels after your set. All right.
Man, that's where I got introduced to a hot toddy, because they was like, yo, drink this before you go on and you'll be all right. I was like, are you sure? They was like, yeah. And I chugged it. And then I was like, yo, give me another one so I could drink it while I was on stage. And that shit helped. It got me through it. And they said there's like stage adrenaline or something, or stage health, where like even if you're sick, as soon as you, because it was like as soon as they said my name to go on, and then like I was good, and then 45 minutes later, when I got off, I instantly got sick again, like fudge, man. And
I've heard that from like smokers, like cigarette smokers, that are like, that's the longest hour is me on stage, because like I don't even crave a cigarette, but then as soon as I get off, I'm like, I need a smoke or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a whole different like realm. And that was my first time ever doing like 45 minutes too, was when I went back. It was a lot of fun. I was nervous about it. Like I was telling, what's the cat that runs the underground for
John Fox?
Robert Pitty.
Oh, Robert Pitty. Yeah.
Robert, yeah. Shouts out to him, man. He's dope. Yeah, I was like, how much time do I have to do to like earn my money? And he was like, you got to do at least 30. I was like, okay, give me a light at 30 minutes, and then I'll see how I'm at in my head. And like the first night, he gave me a light at 30, and I was like, okay, I still got this joke and this. I might be able to pull this off. And then like
I'm a real headliner. Yeah.
And then like I looked at the clock and I was like, I did 45 minutes. I was like, yo, I'm out, man. Let's go. And I was like happy that I got to it. It was
That's
dope.
how I feel lately, like trying to get back in the, well, I've dropped a lot of my jokes and haven't told a bunch of them, and trying to rebuild a set from scratch or whatever.
Did it like you come up with jokes, like your material stays really relevant and fresh all the time. I can't always do that. Like you,
yeah.
I was telling somebody that you're the only comedian I know that could probably like open for yourself with like 20 minutes and then feature with like 30 and then do an hour, and it would all be like different.
Did you see? I started doing that on my tour. I would host for 10 minutes and then come back and headline, because well, it was like I was self-producing I was just running ads, selling out like North Bend Theater. And so all these people are there to see me. I copied it from this guy, Steve Hofstadter, that I always toured with, where because he was like, it's my crowd, so I better come out. And then I was also like, oh, I get an extra 10 minutes on stage. Like, fuck yeah.
And you don't have to pay a host. So
exactly. Yeah. Cause I was like, the profit margin was real low on some of these gigs. So I would just get, a middle or whatever, someone to do 20 minutes in the middle. And that was fun. And then you can like open mic some new shit up top and be like, I'm just here the host. I'm fucking whatever,
That reminds me, we got to do the Chalet Theater.
Oh, Enum Claw. Yeah. We got to work on that.
I'm trying to. That's part about being married. If it works, babe.
Ha.
Bring another beer.
Babe.
Did you officially get married yet? Yeah, you did.
Babe.
Yeah.
Married July 11th.
Babe.
I'm at a golf getaway. I have a
refill before I get one. I'm gonna fucking. Hey! Can I please
he went to a different hotel room. She shut the door on you. What did you say?
But she said yes.
All right. Okay. All right. That's great. Well, yeah, I'm happy. I want to obviously do shows, but like. Arizona is like leading the world in COVID cases, and I'm like, God, geez. And I'm curious about this. Like, you guys are like forever away from getting a vaccine. Like, you're like 2022. Hey, babe.
Ladies and gentlemen, my beautiful wife, Christina.
All right. Is she on FaceTime or is she videoing us?
No.
She was sending that to the judge for the divorce papers later. See, this is what he makes me do.
Look what he does.
Nah, man, that's the biggest supporter, helper, co-manager. She's amazing.
That's great. You guys are forever away from the vaccine.
Yeah, thankfully, me and my wife have an advantage being veterans, and so we're just waiting for our. I think they're doing it by like ages, like active duty are getting it, and then the retired and veterans going by ages. So we have to wait for active duty, and then the really old veterans, and then the medium old veterans, and then we'll get it. Because both of us just got out within the past like 2 years, and I'm only 30 and she's like 26, so we're not gonna get it for a minute. But we'll get it though before most people in San Diego. To answer your question.
Yeah. Huh. Andrew's got nothing going for him, right?
Yeah, I like, that's what I thought. Is like, I was looking at the sheet that Washington put out, and they're like, oh, May we're gonna do these people, in June we're gonna do this, in July we're gonna do, and then they're like, after that we'll check in later, and I'm like, oh, that's not. Yeah. And like Zoltan's the homie, so he did a joke about like I looked on the app and I'm 33 millionth out of 38 million. And so it's like, well, they're not gonna keep comedy clubs closed until 30 million people are vaccinated. Like, so
Yeah.
like to me, it was like, oh, I was worried people might be mad that I was touring, but now I'm like, oh, there's like I am what the country is relying on to keep things open, I guess. They're like,
I mean, from day one, my thought has been, and maybe this is ridiculous, but my thought has been like, how you're going to expect me to be more strict than the law? Like,
right.
I can't, you can't do that to me also. Like,
Yeah.
I understand if you're like, hey, don't be fucking around with doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Legal
like,
show. Yeah.
Or just like wearing a mask or not wearing when you're supposed to, or
Yeah.
gatherings, or I get that. You can come down on me, you can talk, but you want me, there's like people that want comedy clubs to be like, that's irresponsibly open right now. And you're like, I mean, what do you
What do you want?
I'm allowed to. The law, take it up with the CDC, take it up with Jay Inslee, take it up with somebody else other than me.
Yeah.
But
when I was in Wisconsin, like, I mean, it felt like, I mean, I obviously didn't talk to every single person, but like a good third or maybe more of the people I talked to were like, oh yeah, we already had COVID a couple months ago, whatever. And so I was like, oh, it's nice that they have something to go out and do. Like if everything's shut down and like, hey, we're fine. So
when you do that, they pay for your flight to go out there?
No, I'm taking a lot of not like favors, but like a little bit of like just break even money, because I'm like, oh, I know the government's still gonna pay me a little bit, and I want the club to survive, and I want to make some connections. Like,
yeah,
I opened for Damon Wayans Jr. and then he's coming to Tacoma, and now they're gonna have me open for him out here again. And so, like, to me, it's like when a big celebrity needs an opener and there's like a last minute vacancy, I'm like, yeah, let me take that, because I know I'll crush for 20 minutes in front of a sold out crowd. And then if he's at all open to new people on his tour roster, then for sure, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta be, so like I talked to him he tipped me $100 or whatever. And he goes, hey, fucking great, you killed it. And I'm like, yo, if you ever need another opener, just let me know. And he's like, yeah, we'll be in touch. And so I'm like, dope,
Yeah, good.
And
no, man, just keep doing
yeah, and I opened for John Christ, who's a huge star, and I just sent his manager my avails again, and she's like, cool, we'll see if we can put you on. And
it's not
so,
John,
like, huh?
I thought his last name was Christ.
Yeah, I know. It's probably
well, he's like Christian.
Yeah.
I thought he did it just because of that, but no. Okay, Christ. Okay.
I mean, maybe yeah. I don't know.
He's got abs. He's got abs too. So it's all. He's just really trying to be Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll take whatever, just to like
not have to be on TikTok nonstop.
Yeah, and it's also like it keeps me fresh. I got to write. I'm doing more writing than I've ever done. So to me, it's like if I can sort of skip the famous comics, like if I can skip ahead in comedy a little bit, while some other people are maybe taking more time off, and I can sort of step in and be like, hey, I'm great. Like my pandemic special blowing up is like, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not a piece of shit over here. All right, that's cool with me,
Eric Marlon Bishop, that's his name.
What's that?
Jamie Foxx's real name. I was saying Jamie Foxx's real name ain't Jamie Foxx. I was trying to.
Oh, I see. John Christ, maybe. Yeah, I get you.
His real name is Eric Marlon Bishop.
What's your real name? I know James Hancock's just a stage name.
No, it's James Hancock.
Oh, okay, just checking.
I saw you try to slip cock into your name somehow, and.
Some people really think that it's fake. They're like, "Is your name really James Hancock?" Like, it's not that weird of a name. Like, I'm not calling myself Honey Toast with lemon, motherfucker. Like.
People ask me if I have if like my name is a entertainment name, and I'm always like, no, I don't.
Just because of Fox is kind of cool and like sly.
Yeah.
Corey Michaelis, they're.
I know. Nobody's ever asked me that.
Why would anyone even write that down.
Maybe I should put the third after, and then people be like, "Ooh, who are the first and second?" And I'm like,
Go
"I don't know."
fourth. Go
Maybe
above.
they're more interesting, and we'll
I
see what
haven't met
happens.
either one of them, so
Don't limit
I
yourself.
don't
Go
know.
to fourth. You can even say the first two were black, and then they got lighter after, and you be like, "Yo, fourth."
They just kept fucking
Yeah.
Scottish women, and here
One
I
and two were Nigerian. It was amazing.
am. Well, yeah, I think this idea, I can't remember if we said it before we started recording or after, it doesn't matter, but this idea of the three of us and I mean, the Chalet Theater, I think
In a shower? Oh, okay. Yep.
is a decent idea for you and I, Andrew, just because, like, who knows, you know? But I mean, we could probably both do that individually on our own.
I think we just do it together, and I mean,
now let's do it together and whatever. But like a little bit down the road, I mean, somewhere like, well, fucking San Diego. We come down, 75% open or whatever, and you use your connections, and the three of us just hang out and surf. And do you surf? I don't know.
I can.
can you swim?
Oh boy.
Yes, I can swim, but I don't swim in the ocean though. I don't do that. I don't go
Yeah.
past. I don't go past where like I only go deep enough to where we could play football, and like I'll do like diving catches. But once I don't actually like swim. I don't.
If you can't see the bottom, you don't fuck with that.
Yeah, if I got like a paddle board or something, I'll go out there.
Get some floaties.
I need some mode of transportation to where if I need to get my feet out the water, I can do that. You know, because there'd be sharks and whales.
You scared of sharks? Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm scared of sharks. I'm scared of snakes. I got fears, man.
What's a snake?
A snake, asshole. A snake. I'm scared of snakes and sharks and whales. I'm scared of
schnarks.
I'm scared of sharks.
If I'm swimming and there's like a real big boat in the water, I can't be near it. Like I don't like anything bigger than me in the water near me. You know what I'm saying?
So you can't have Andrew's penis near you. That's
I thought of that same dumb joke, and then I was like, that's not even worth saying. And then Cory was like, I've got an idea.
You slept with Andrew?
No, I slept on his couch and he sleepwalks. And sometimes I don't know if he knows he sleepwalks, but I came in, he was like naked in the fridge. I was like, Andrew, what are you doing? And then he said a few jokes and then went back upstairs. It was weird.
Did I kill?
That was cool. I didn't know to do that.
How were the jokes though? That's all I don't know.
You don't interrupt. You don't wake up a sleepwalker and you don't, it's his house. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Hey,
were the jokes good though? Like, was it any good premises, or was it like a?
I could just tell you was trying to say a joke. It didn't come out like words. It was just like, and then the summer, oh shit, it was like that.
It was
like real words.
Just cadence. It was cadence alone.
It was just off of cadence.
Do people do other? Everybody always just like sleepwalk, or do people do other like sleep masturbate? Like, do people do other?
I don't know. There's a lady on TikTok who records herself sleepwalking and posts it, and she does a lot of shit. Like she goes.
Okay.
Well, that's guaranteed to be on our algorithm now.
Yeah, she was taking something and she was like throwing it into the front yard, and then like her husband, like once she like leaves like the front steps, there's an alarm for her husband. Her husband goes outside and like wrangles her back into the house. But she does a lot of shit. It's weird.
TikTok is wild.
For sure. Like, can you imagine if something happened to someone sleepwalking and then you tried as a husband be like, no, she literally just walks out in the middle of the street by herself. Like, no.
That's like the Birbiglia story where it's like people beat their wives because they think it's a robber or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, fuck off. But yeah, TikTok's super weird. I was curious about this. Like, sometimes I'm putting all my jokes up there, and like sometimes a joke does really well and I'm like, yeah, but then like sometimes a joke I think will do well doesn't do well, and I'm like, I guess that joke sucks. I don't like TikTok convinces me that my own material sucks.
It's all dude, I'm telling you, it's the most random. It's something that somebody you put so much time and effort into, and nothing happened. And then literally like my most popular video is that really crappy gas station one of me grabbing the twisted tea.
That was really funny though.
It got 500,000 views, and it's my most popular video. And I just literally was 30 seconds of just like, hey man, just say this, and I'm gonna take it and show it, and then you get scared and walk away. He was like, okay, cool, let's do it.
Was that like a random dude in the grocery store?
Huh?
Was that just like a random dude?
No, me, my wife, him, and his girlfriend went up to Yosemite.
Okay.
And so we were just buying liquor.
I thought you were like in a AM PM, and you're like, hey,
dude,
hey, I got an idea for a TikTok, and he's like,
huh?
Yeah, I think about doing that. Sometimes you're in like a situation where it's just like you and another dude, and like, yo, this would be so funny if like this happened, but you're like, you don't want to approach some shit. Like, what if he just and freaks out and shoots you or something? You don't know. So it's like
Andrew and I don't worry about that, but I get it.
But you get it though. But you get it, right? Yeah.
We understand the plight.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so random. And then a video where I'm doing 3 different outfit changes throughout, and then I post it. It's like, we'll show it to 500 people. It took you 3 hours, whatever. Like, it's just everything's so random.
So, like, do you lose Cory? You've had a bunch of videos do really well. Do you lose confidence in any of the bits if they don't perform well, or are you like, this thing's wrong?
No, I think that I anticipated them all getting 500 views. So anything that does better than that, I'm like, oh, all right, that's good. But I think that it's just so, connected to how often you post. There's so many factors besides the quality of the joke. And so, I mean, the one that did best for you didn't have subtitles. And or not best, but like,
oh well, my biggest video was just me walking out of Buffalo Wild Wings,
right?
Like,
so it's like, well, who, you can't
it's such an absurd, like, when I watch that, I'm like, oh, who would even like spend the first 3 seconds being like, let's see where this goes?
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
And but I think I started it off like accidentally racist, so a bunch of people are like, oh boy,
sticking around for this.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. It draws you in, and you're like, all right, what the fuck is this guy gonna say? And then you finish it, and it's like, all right, that wasn't that bad. That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then that's what. And then I feel like comments are a lot too, because like if you could get
tagging
the dialogue going in the comments, your video gonna take off. Because the other one I did was like semi-political, and everybody was just in the comments, Biden, Trump, just Trump supporter, Barack Obama supporter, blah 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 blah. And even though I didn't look at what they were saying, as long as they were saying some shit, then that was good. And then that's what made it,
and it's consistency and whatever, and then there's just a lot of luck, and
the niche.
I didn't know about like lip syncing, and then people were lip syncing my jokes, and then I was like, oh, I gotta repost those and duets, and there's so much to learn. But like, the nice part about TikTok, I think it's really great because it's like the way Andrew said it, it's like the only one where you can get a significant following from scratch, from nothing.
Yeah.
The rest you just can't. You
Twitter, you need like a big retweet or something like that.
And even
then they don't really follow you. No one like follows anybody.
Chad Opitz, who's very, very funny, he had a tweet get like 600,000 likes the other day.
Was that his Missed Outfire thing or whatever? Yeah, fucking
very
brilliant.
Funny. And it's so good. And then you watch him because he's a comedian, and he tries to take advantage of it, and he's like, oh shit, I better. And then it's like 20 likes, 10 likes, and you're like, wow.
Yeah,
that's just crazy.
Yeah, but everything is good. You're supposed to like do more and like go live while it's trending, and then people see it, and
Tim Dillon had a funny rant where he was like, what's the secret? Be hot. But what if just be hot. Well, what about Tim Dillon on his podcast? Like, no, it's like depending on the time of day. No, if you're hot, people will watch it.
Sure. But
that's what I made fun of Katie for, because she was just up there going like, oh, I'm telling stories. And I'm like, you're not even that funny. Like, what the fuck? You're famous on TikTok already.
Great.
She was a little mad about it, but
I wonder why she doesn't want to date you. Anyway,
I can't imagine.
Well, anyway, James, so fun to talk. We should just do this once in a while and grab drinks and Zoom together, because
man, good.
You're great to hang out with. I love it. We are we're on Instagram now. We don't need followers, but just wanted to tag the podcast in one of my other posts. So we're at Homeschool Podcast on all the things. Andrew J. Rivers on all the things. I'm Cory Michaelis Comedy on all the things. And what's your handles, James?
Mine is Hancock Comedy for now, on all of the things.
Oh man, do we have to write
get
in
rid of your
now
stage name?
or?
Huh? No, I just don't want it to be Hancock Comedy no more. I want to, because I do a lot of acting and modeling too now, so I want to incorporate everything. So I just don't want to restrict myself to just comedy. You know, I'm multifaceted, multi-talented. I can play instruments and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't
Hancock Comedy / model / music /
I do a lot of modeling. All right, we get it.
Athlete in almost every sport. You know, Andrew found out when I went and demolished everyone.
Man, they were super mad for me bringing you on our team. They've never played with a black guy though, so that was a little different.
And I get there and they were like, "Oh my God, Andrew brought a black guy. What the fuck is this now?" And I was the only black person. They were like, "He's on our team."
No, there was one other guy, but he wasn't that. He was a big fat guy though.
Same thing happened when I get it, man. When he brought.
Well, Cory's really sneaky. Cory's got the sneaky athleticism that's what they call.
They were like,
white
we don't
guy.
want him, and then like I overperformed.
You brought like knee pads, I think, and you were like sliding everywhere and taking tackles. And
I was actually pretty good back then. Not anymore. My knees are bad, but
yeah.
James
podcast. We're Homeschool Podcast
with a K, HOMESKOOL. All right. Well, hey, Manscaped, check it out.
this man's balls are
there. It is.
Yeah.
First follower on our Instagram.
We don't plug Manscaped. We plug Fresh Clean Tees, man. Fresh Clean Tees is the way.
Clean Tees. Do they send you shit?
Oh yeah, all the time. I got Henleys, I got long sleeve, I got short sleeve, I got a bomber jacket back here.
Can you get some an extra medium for me?
Extra medium? I don't have an extra. But you go to Fresh Clean Tees and make an order and use my code laugh more and get 15% off.
Oh shit.
No, I got you. Yeah.
Love it.
I'm gonna have to buy some new shirts. I've been doing a lot of weights, and I'm like, I gotta get some new shirts, man.
Yeah, and when you come, Cory, we can come play some golf. I've been golfing more too, man.
Love it.
I'm out there.
Well, I'm on
Hancock at Hancock Golfing on Instagram.
We'll just find. I've been modeling. I've been golfing. Jesus Christ! All right. Well, we'll find a course that allows you to play on it, and
because of COVID.
Yeah.
I'm valid everywhere. My dad.
Not in Augusta. All right.
Augusta National. All right. You guys are great. Thank you so much. I'm just going to stop the recording, then we'll chat. Bye.
Bye.